Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're trying to keep your head off the social media and the COVID thing that's going so rampant. People are dying, yes, and there are many cases increasing. Personally, I've had sick people, but let me tell you one thing, hope is important. Keep your hope alive. My name is Nabasumba Lilian, your teacher, your chef, your coach, your counselor, and I'm here to talk about children. Children are amazing gifts from the Lord, gifts to make our gardens beautiful, flowers to pick, cherish, adore, and love. Do we make mistakes as teachers, as guardians, as parents in raising our children, in how we talk to them? Do you know that many adults right now are an exact replica of what their parents were or what their parents did? Whatever you do wrong as a parent, as a teacher, affects this child. And it's the same thing that they are going to do to their students or to their children. Let us change how we treat our children. Children have the same values as we do. They have emotions, they have a mind, they have everything that makes them human. Yes, I'm not trying to say that children can make decisions like we adults do. No, but don't take away their rights and their ability to form decisions that are guided by you. I want you to know that you as a parent, you as a teacher, you're supposed to be a guide and to make sure they don't go wrong. But in what way? Let's dive into it. As a teacher, I do encounter lots of students, and as a counselor, I do meet a number of students and parents. Now, there is this one girl. This happened when I was still, that was my Form 6 back. There's this girl in my class, and she was always scared, intimidated. She was intelligent, I could tell, but she's the kind of child who you'd ask a question and she'd put up the hand, but then still feel like, should I go ahead and say this? Is this the right thing to say? How will people react to what I'm going to say? And you realize that this was hindering her back. Well, I'm someone who notices something and I do go about it. When I noticed this, I approached her. At first, it was hard for her to confide in me, but with a blossoming friendship that I created with her, she eventually opened up to me. She told me, you know what, Madam Lilian, at home, I'm considered ugly, I'm too dark, I'm never praised, I'm the one doing wrong. Whenever anything goes wrong in the house, it's me who has done it. And I feel like even when I'm going to say something, it's not going to be correct. And I'm not in position to say what I have to say. So you see how this child's mind is imprisoned, how this child is mentally down, how this child is losing out in life at such a tender age. They can't believe in themselves. They can't do anything because they're afraid of making mistakes. They're afraid of being punished. They're afraid of being shouted at. That's the kind of environment some parents are grooming their kids. This child was capable of performing beyond any other person in class, but due to the fear to express herself, to give her ideas. When you're a teacher and you're in class and a student gives a wrong answer, you're able to correct them. But a held back student, a student who is scared of saying, you know what, teacher, this is what I think is right, is held back and scared. How will you correct them? The kind of environment you groom your children from determines how they succeed in life. Parents, you're raising replicas of you. And yes, teachers, Do you want to taint the teaching profession as bad? This teacher was bad to me. So I think that's what teachers are. How do you talk to your children? If you're talking to your child in a good way, they're going to talk to others in a good way, and they're going to be good adults, addressing issues with others in a good way. Are you positive with your child? Has your child broken a plate? Has your child done something but it's not fine, like in class when a student gives an answer, as a teacher I don't go like, that's a wrong answer, don't tell us rubbish. No, good trial, you can do better, but that's a good trial. That student is going to be encouraged to keep trying because you first focused on the positive, on what is going right. But when you focus on what is going wrong, this child is always going to be negative. So as a parent, as a teacher, please be very positive. Even in their wrongs, even in their mistakes, notice what good they have done. This is not even only to children or to students, even as an adult. When you're married or in a relationship or you have a friendship and this person only notices what's going wrong, you cook a nice meal and it's a bit dry, but it's tasty. Instead of the person saying, oh, this meat is tasty, but I think you can add a little more gravy to it so it's not so dry. How do you talk to someone? Focus on what is positive. Stop focusing on what is negative. When you're talking to your children, be positive. Don't always look for what is going wrong and negative. How you talk to your child is how they're going to talk to others. If you're rude to your child, they're going to be rude to others. Children are imitators. Children do what we do. Children do not do things they don't see. That's why they say that in courts of law, when a child says something, they have seen it and it has happened. So it's hard for you to get off the prison or the cellars because this child has seen you and they're testifying against you. There is a lady who helps me out. When she comes, this child starts blabbering things. She starts talking a lot of things and I be listening and noticing. But then one day, she said to one of the ladies who this lady also helps, and she says, Mama akubanja tetoyagala musasula. It's because this child was listening to what the mom was saying. The mom talked about this and the child came and actually told it to the person. Children are imitators. What they listen, they pick. What they see you do, they do. So children are your replicas. Even if you're in public and you start beating up this child for saying something, let me tell you, just take this child aside and correct them and stop doing things that are going to embarrass you, because we just know this is what you do with your child. It impacts their mind. So let us be good examples to our children. Let us teach our children responsibilities. Rights and responsibilities work hand in hand. We've been raised with bribing. Your parent tells you, if I find the house clean, I'll bring you a Rolex. Yay! And you're very happy. Mom is going to bring me a Rolex, so let me clean. That's the reward. Do you want your child to always expect something in return for doing their duty? Because it's their duty to clean after themselves, to clean the house. It's their duty to be good children, to do house chores. And you're promising, you're bribing them. No, my honey, that is wrong. You have to teach your child their responsibility. You have a right to pray, but if you first mop the house, it will be easier for you to pray and you live in a clean environment. Okay? If you do your homework well, it's your responsibility, and that means you're going to go to another class. You're not bribing them, you're letting them know their responsibility. Their rights come with a responsibility. Do not bribe children. Buy the sweets, buy the chocolates, buy the cakes for them, but that's because they are your children and deserve this, but not because you're bribing them to do something. That is totally wrong. It's not going to work in the long run. Okay? I hope we are following and I hope we are learning. Have a connection and concentrate when you're talking to your children. Have you talked to an adult who has no ability to maintain eye contact? You're talking to them and they're like, I know. Atuno daily. I had an art teacher who was a stubborn student, so I wasn't good at art. So what I always did, I didn't draw. He would tell us to draw all kinds of things that was in my S2, and I didn't draw. But this my art teacher couldn't confront me. He was always like, "You girl, do you have your book?" He's supposed to look at me, but he's like, "You girl, did you do my work? Do you have my book?" He's pointing the other side, and I'm staring at him like this. He failed. He failed to make me understand and make me feel like he's a serious teacher because he couldn't look at me in the eye and ask for his work. And yet I knew my responsibility was to make sure that I did the work. But well, that was the stage. So look, connect with your children. Children know when what you're talking about you don't know. They know that, oh, mommy, today you're doing wrong, or teacher, today you're not serious. And children are very, very clever. When they realize you don't know what you're talking about, they'll turn their minds away from you and start doing something completely different. You don't want that to happen. Create a connection with your child. Know who your child is. Another thing, do you know that some people are so privileged to have both their parents or even one of their parents? Some of you are so privileged to have grown up in houses and in homes where you've been groomed into good human beings, while some other people have brought themselves up. They have learned by trial and error, and the world has taught them. Do you want to groom your child into someone better? Stop using people as bad examples to your children. I know most of you are not going to agree with me, but put yourself in a situation where someone is telling their child, don't be like that person. Don't behave like so and so. It could be with a good intention. You want to correct your child, but is there a way you can tell your child not to be a bad person but not choosing other people? Because this child is going to lose respect for this other person. They're going to start looking at them as people who don't know anything and who are less important in life. You don't want your child to lose sense of humanity, to look out for others' goodness. Each one of us in this society has a right to respect. It doesn't matter how they behave, it doesn't matter how they conduct themselves. Humanity ought to be respected. You want to be respected as human. Even when I don't know you, even when I find you on the way, I have a right to respect you. Yes, you say respect is earned, some respect is earned, but to humanity, we all owe respect. You need to respect people. Don't choose people as bad examples to your children. It doesn't help them. You're rather teaching them another bad habit, and that's underlooking people, minimizing people, and being bad citizens. Talk to your child well. I hope we understand. Your body language should be in union with what you're talking to your child about. Help your children grow. Don't stand outside the house and shout at your child, come out. Mouth first, legs next. Always go there, be physically present. At school, in preschool, we tell children to pack up. It's pack up time. As a teacher, you're supposed to come to the mat and help them pack. Okay? To pack and get off the play area. You're there physically telling them to pack up, and we're all packing up. But when you stand at your station and tell them to pack up, they're going to still keep playing. But when you're there physically, it makes a difference. Do not make a mistake of minimizing their intellectual ability. Imagine if someone tells you, your boss tells you it's a public holiday tomorrow, but I want you at work. And you ask, but tomorrow is a public holiday. And your boss goes like, you're coming to work because I said so. I'm the boss. Does it feel good? Does it sound nice? No, it doesn't. Why would you tell your child, if you tell your child, you know what, John, you're not going to have that apple at this hour. And your child asks, but mommy, why? And you go, because I said so. It hurts them, right? It does. You know, sometimes it's tedious and tiring to have to explain to children all these things. But when you do have the time, please try to tell them, oh, you can't have the apple now because maybe you've had dinner and you can have that tomorrow. Let's talk to people, to children, the way we want to be talked to. I love you. And I hope that this session has really helped. And I hope to see you at the end of all this. Keep following. I'm still your coach, your teacher, your chef, Nawasumba Lilian, and I'm so glad that you've listened in. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share with your friends. Let us meet another time. Bye.